Stage 16, only 139 kilometres, but this day will be anything but easy. The riders will roll out of Ponte di Legno at 12:30 and around 4.5 hours later will reach the summit of Val Martello. This stage was due to take place last year but had to be cancelled as the roads were impassable due to snow. After a brief descent from Ponte di Legno, the riders will soon hit the first fearsome test of the day, the Passo Gavia. The initial gradients are manageable, with 5.3% being the average for the first 2Ks. Soon after, the riders will have to negotiate the first of the hairpin bends, and it's not long before the gradients hit double figures. With 10Ks still to climb, the road pitches to its steepest gradient of 16%. This middle section of the climb is brutal, with an 8.5 km section averaging 8.6% through an intensive onslaught of hairpin bends. The familiar walls of snow will greet the riders as they head towards the top, bringing back memories of Andy Hampston's epic ride over these roads back in 1988. The top of the climb crests at 2,618 metres, and the riders can then enjoy a long, fast and cold descent to Bormio. It won't be long, however, until the extra clothes are once again discarded, as they will soon face the loftiest test of this year's race, the Stelvio. 2 years ago, we witnessed an incredible ride on these slopes by the Belgian Thomas de Gent, who soloed to victory and hauled himself into 4th place overall. The gradient on the Stelvio is steady, but it's the length of the climb that can make it such a test at 21.7 Ks. The famous and picturesque hairpin bends, which come with 10 Ks still to climb, also feature the steepest section at 12%. As the riders come towards the top, they will come close to the border with Switzerland. The gradients here will give the riders some brief respite, but the open nature of the road means that the racing may be affected by the winds. A few hairpins later and the riders will reach the highest point of this year's race at 2,758 metres. The first rider over the top here will receive the Cima Coppi prize. But unfortunately for them, they're only just over halfway through the stage by distance. Another long descent awaits them with an abundance of tight hairpin bends near the top, eventually leading them down to Spondina. From here they will head down the valley road, giving them a final chance to eat and drink what they need. At kilometre 104.6 comes the only intermediate sprint, but with the reduced number of bonus seconds on offer at this year's race, it's unlikely we'll see much of a fight between the riders here, especially with what is looming around the corner. The final climb of the day, the Val Martello, is in fact the longest at 22.3 Ks from start to finish. It's an irregular gradient here, varying from flat to 14%. The majority of this road is sheltered by trees, but with 6 Ks to go, the road opens out slightly next to the beautiful Giro Lake. This section will be fast and leads to an extremely testing final kilometre, where they will face 8 hairpin bends and an average gradient of over 10%. Whilst the race for the Maglia Rosa won't be over, today's stage will be one of the biggest tests for anybody hoping to win the race overall.
To see this year's Giro content, click here, and to subscribe to GCN, click here.